Hello and welcome to another video on this channel. Today we're going to be going over how to sketch a linear graph. So for the past couple videos I've been talking about the graph y equals mx plus c. I've gone over what the m value is. The m value is our gradient and the c value is our y-intercept. So basically we know the grand scheme of what those letters mean in that equation. Today I'm going to go over how to sketch these graphs. So the key thing with sketching is to find the intercepts. So you have the y-intercepts and the x-intercepts. Now I've gone over briefly how to find a y-intercept, but finding an x-intercept is very similar. So to find a y-intercept, you set x equal to 0. To find an x-intercept, y is equal to 0. Because by definition, if you have a set of axes of x and y, when the line crosses the x-axis, y will be 0. No matter what, let's say we have a random number a here, no matter what this number a is, this will always be 0 because it's always going to be here on the line y. Same with this thing. No matter what number I have here, which is a again, this will always be 0 no matter where you are on this line. It will always be 0, b, where b is some number, no matter where you are. So that's the basic premise of x and y intercepts. So to find the y-intercept, x is 0. To find the x-intercept, y equals 0. If you get that, you pretty much know how to sketch. So let's go over and let's try and sketch the graph y equals 5x plus 4. So pause the video if you want to try this. Alright, so let's start by drawing an axis. So we have an x and y. Let's start by finding our y-intercept. So our y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. So that means to find our y-intercept, let x equal to 0. Now if you never want to get this wrong, write out this part. Y-intercept, let x equal to 0. And it will become a second nature to you. Whoops. Intercept. Always write out this part. Y-intercept, x equals 0. So we have our graph here, our line here. Sub in 0 for x. So 5 times 0 plus 4. Therefore y equals 4. Therefore our y-intercept is 0, 4. To find our x-intercept, let y equals 0. So 0 equals 5x plus 4. Now we're going to get x by itself, so negative 4 equals 5x. Divide by 5 here. And therefore x equals negative 4. Therefore our x-intercept is negative 4, 5, 0. Now let's dot these points on our axis. So 0, 4 is up here, and negative 4 over 5 is somewhere here because it's less than negative 1. So now you just go connect the dots really. Whoop, that is a terrible straight line. That's a bit better. And label your points. So this is 0, 4, and this is negative 4 over 5, 0. And then put the equation y equals 5x plus 4. And that's pretty much how you sketch. So I'll be going over another example in a second. So the key idea with these things, if you want to find the y-intercept, you must let x equal 0. To find the x-intercept, y must equal to 0. it's kind of like the opposite. So if you want to find one thing, you need to set the other thing to 0 in terms of intercepts and linear equations. Well, not even linear equations. This works with all polynomials. It works with quadratics and all sorts of other graphs. So this is a huge idea. No matter if you're doing a trigonometric equation, a quadratic, to find the y-intercept, x is 0. To find the x-intercept, y is 0. This is a huge idea. So now that we've got that, let's try and sketch the graph. Let's find an example. Let's go the graph y equals 4 over 9x plus 5 over 2. So it's a bit yucky, this example, because there's no whole numbers in the equation. But the same idea works. It doesn't matter if this thing looks scary, because there's no whole numbers in it. You can still do it. The same rules apply. So, y-intercept, let x equals 0. Therefore, y is 4 over 9 times 0 plus 5 over 2. This whole thing here is being multiplied by 0, so that goes to 0. So y equals 5 over 2. Therefore, our y-intercept is 0, 5 over 2. Our x-intercept, let y equal 0. So now we put in 0 where our y is. So 0 equals 4 over 9 x plus 5 over 2. Now we've got to get x by itself. So we're going to move the 5 over 2 to the other side and change its sign. So for negative 5 over 2 equals 4 over 9x. Now we're going to divide by 4 over 9. Now the way we divide by a fraction is we tip in times basically. So if we want, I'm just going to write this up here for a second. So if we have 5 over 2 divide by 4 over 9, that's the same as going 5 over 2, negative 5 over 2 times by 9 over 4. So using this idea, we're going to do the same thing down here. So therefore, x is equal to negative 5 over 2 times by 9 over 4. 5 times 9 is negative 45. 2 times 4 is 8. So our x-intercept is negative 45 over 8, 0. Boom. So you'll need a calculator if you want to work that out as a decimal. Or you could just, yeah, pretty much you're going to need a calculator to work out whether that's a decimal. And using my calculator, that's a negative 4 or 5, that's approximately negative 5.625. So using our axes here, we have x, y, negative 5.6, that's going to be about here. So this is negative 45 over 8, 0. Actually, I'm going to move that up there. And our y-intercept, 5 over 2 is 2.5, so it's going to be roughly here. So we have 0, 5 over 2. I'm going to move that as well, because my line's going to get in the way. Just move that there. And connect the dots pretty much. Boom. So that's the point there. That's that point there. Oh, that's that point there. And then we write our equation, y equals 4 over 9x plus 5 over 2. Boom. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be making up a follow-up video to this.